this is a tax to pay for the BBC, even if they don't watch the BBC, even if they switch to a different channel or turn off the TV, they're basically paying for their fellow citizens to be propagandized with the left-wing narrative. And this particular scandal might bring that to a head.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with Editor-in-Chief Hugo Gurdon. Hugo, the BBC, or the Beeb, as you just taught me, it is sometimes called, has been caught up in an editing scandal that involves President Donald Trump and has Trump making legal threats. Tell us what happened.
Yes, President Trump has threatened to sue the BBC for $1 billion because of a story that came out a couple of weeks ago about the editors at the BBC editing a piece of video of him talking on January the 6th, on the day of the Capitol Hill riot. And they spliced together two parts of his speech, which were 50 minutes apart, making it look falsely as though he had directly called for violence at the Capitol. Mm-hmm. The BBC boasts of a big audience in the United States, which perhaps raises the question of the extent to which it influences opinion here. But anyway, this having been caught, the BBC, the two of the top people, the Director General of the entire corporation and the CEO of the news division, both resigned, saying that they take responsibility and the buck stops with them, etc. Mm-hmm. But it's raised, the scandal has exploded because it's raised again a couple of issues. One is the sustained, decades-long left-wing bias of the BBC, and it's adopted the left-wing position on any issue that you can possibly name. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that everybody in Britain who has a TV has to pay £175 sterling, which is about $230, mm-hmm. just for to be allowed to use a TV in Britain. And so even if they don't watch this is a tax to pay for the BBC, even if they don't watch the BBC, even if they switch to a different channel or turn off the TV, they're basically paying for their fellow citizens to be propagandized with the left-wing narrative. And this particular scandal might bring that to a head.
So I actually didn't know that licensing fees were a thing in Great Britain, but you were saying earlier that this is sort of a perennial issue in Great Britain. Do you think, in fact, this will be the thing that does away with licensing fees? And do you think it should be, or is there another solution?
Well, there is, I have argued, as have many conservatives over the years, that one should not have to pay a fee to watch television. To American ears, it sounds absurd. But there is a problem here for conservatives, and that is that any number of commercially financed television outlets mm-hmm. are thoroughly left-wing. And the last thing that conservatives or a conservative party in Britain would want mm-hmm. is just another left-wing TV broadcasting organization. Mm-hmm. What they want is to maintain the BBC as a state-run or a state-financed broadcaster. They just want it to be fair. They want to be balanced. They want to expunge the left-wing bias. And it's very interesting that Nigel Farage, mm-hmm. who is the leader of the Reform Party, which is way ahead in the polls in Britain right now, tweeted out just in response to this, that the BBC has to get its act together. It's its last chance. If they don't do this, a lot of people won't pay the license fee. He didn't say the license fee should be scrapped, because I don't think that he wants just another left-wing commercially financed broadcaster.
And all of this is happening against the backdrop in England of political turbulence for right. Prime Minister Keir Starmer. What is going on there?
Well, Keir Starmer is in deep trouble. It's not much. It's around a year, I think, since he was elected, and his government, which is the Socialist Labour Party, mm-hmm. is in deep trouble. He's profoundly unpopular, and his unpopularity is feeding the popularity of the Reform Party, primarily on the issue of immigration, but on the sense that the Labour Party, the Socialist Party, is all on board with policies that are increasingly frustrating to the traditional people of the country. They feel like they're losing their country in the same way as people in the MAGA movement mm-hmm. here feel that America is being lost to some kind of unrecognizable sort of global globalist, fancy rather than the nation state that they belong to. Keir Starmer came out and spoke on this BBC scandal. He said that it had to get his house in order, but he is clearly doesn't. Because he's in such difficult political position. Obviously, he doesn't want to antagonize the BBC. He wants a good press from the BBC. So the idea of the scandal and the debate, the controversy about whether or not the BBC should continue in its current role, whether it should be tax financed, etc., comes against a time when Keir Starmer is likely to be challenged for the leadership of the Labour Party, and leadership of the Labour Party means being Prime Minister, because if he's ousted, he's no longer the Prime Minister.
Well, Hugo, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more from Hugo and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.